Fun fact, my birthday is the 23rd of November. Why am I telling you this? Well, look at the date, then look at me. Do you understand why I'm making this video now? Okay, good. We can talk about why I like Arknights so much now. I love Gacha. I think that's no secret, considering the FGO Musashi video, and I also now guess the Xenoline video, which hurts, considering, like, in terms of Musashi video, because I have lost access to my FGO account. But, aside from that, there's also my weirdly stacked Honkai Star Rail account with, yep, yeah, fuck. There's also my Genshin account, which is a less egregious, but yeah. If you're wondering why I don't have a better mic yet, or commissioned a new avatar for these videos, you can blame Hoyo. Although I will admit I have been slowing down on my spending in these two games because I have found a gacha game that will probably be my forever gacha, that being Arknights. Like, God, I haven't found a gacha game I've been so in love with since Bay Frontier. Yes, really, my childhood was that sad. Now, with for extra pity points, I'm going to tell you that I played an unhealthy amount of Smite before I converted to League. Yeah. Anyway, I fell in love with Arknights, and I thought for my self-indulgent birthday video, I would do a top 10 of my favorite waifus in the game. Although, with a restriction, I'm only going to talk about units I have in-game, mainly because then I can source my own B-roll. With that said, just give me a second. Okay, now we can start. Yes. Palace, W. I like Instructor Gods, and I refuse to believe they're bad. Like, who cares if they have bad personal DPS? The goal is to be a DPS that also buffs other DPSs. And for someone like me, a huge fan of Defenders, Palace SV is up my alley. Watching her turn my 9S2 into a block 6 countering machine makes the neurons in my brain pop off. Well, I would also be showing that if I didn't dump all my resources into Wizardell, so I can only dream about the obscenely high block counts. God, imagine how high I would get with Heidi. Ooh. Also bonus points for being an alcoholic priestess and being drawn by Aisling. I am sure Aisling won't be popping up again in this video, that's for sure. But yeah, no, Palace, fat W, just saying that now. Yes. I nearly gave this slot to my goat, which is Fang, because both her forms are cool and I use them frequently, in IS at least. But then I got Muesli, and she reignited my passion for Vanguards that I had when I started playing, because tacticians are cool, so fuck it, I'm gonna put all 3 of my tacticians here since I don't have Vigil yet. Trust me though, if I had a Vigil, he would be here too. I like tacticians that much. Anyway, let's start with Beanstalk, because she's the one that started this love, and also she's very me. Like, for example, she's a hyena, and I love hyenas. She's also possibly autistic coded, but I won't get into that. All you need to know is that I like her a lot. She's the one that really got me hooked on tacticians to begin with. Yeah, I mean, and also right now I kind of use her a lot as a 2-hope Vanguard in IS. So yeah, she's honestly just really valuable. Black Knight, I used a lot more though, in just more generic use, because when I don't want DB Chen, that is, because she's good and has like a good mix of DPS and stole, while Beanstalk is mainly purely stole, which she's really good at, by the by. It's just a shame that I only have 3 of the units for Sleep Knights, so I can't use Black Knight properly. As for Mumu, well, since I got her, she has looked every single one of my Vanguards dead in the eyes and said, I'm the Vanguard now. Like, why use Metal or Falter for DP gen when I could just turn her Blob into the next deploy you were going to use the DP on anyway? Like, she might as well be the team, and I love her. She's the definition of flexible, and I don't see myself using any other Vanguard outside of, outside of IS. To be honest, because holy shit, this is not scripted, but the movement is just like really fucking cool. Like, not only gameplay wise, but story wise too. Like, Ryan's Lab, easily one of my favorite actions. Just saying that now. Just it's just a shame that she's a limited unit because I think everyone should have a Moo Moo. Yeah, just saying that. Anyway, moving on. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. I had to put my daughters somewhere, and asking a mother to choose which child she loves more is just cruel punishment. So I'm putting all three of them in the same spot. I love my welfare daughters so much. I love my overworked raccoon who's just trying her best to support her father. I also love my poor baby bear who's overworking herself to cope with her trauma. And I also love my poor zebra defender. Um, I just want to hold them all close and help them through their troubles. It's like, I just love them. Gameplay wise too, I like them too. Robin is my favorite chat master, and I'm saying that as son with Ella. I know she's only E1, but I'm doing my best with the limited resources I have. Leave me alone. As for Absinthe, she's usually my second caster pick for when I need to execute the infidels. Although ever since I have acquired Ascalon and a certain other caster, I haven't deployed her because, well, yeah, sorry, my Pookie Bear, you're gonna have to let your sister do all the heavy lifting now. As for Heavy Vein, she was the first welfare I acquired for my account, and then got immediately replaced with Vice Wife, so another unfortunate L for the welfare daughters. But it's okay, I still love them all equally. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. What, did you expect that lead-in to be me putting Ascalon in my 7th slot? Well, sorry, but she doesn't even make top 10 for me. Golden Glow, though, I almost feel bad for putting her 7 because I love her mother, Nami. Golden Glow to me is just one of my many daughters, just the daughter I rely on the most because of her S2 and SV. And while I am frustrated that Mizuki hasn't come home to his sister yet, I'm glad that Golden Glow can keep me company for now. And don't worry, Golden Glow, I'll definitely make sure Pepe comes home and you get that sweet Sanrio collab skin release. Also, I just gotta say, I love her bio. I haven't read through her mini event yet, but the bio, it's so peak, and I love its wholesomeness. Just go read it on Game Press if you haven't done so already. You won't regret it. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Fun fact, this spot originally belonged to Chongli, purely because I had this bit about how I can make him into a housewife. And then one night, I was fighting about with my Somya, so I was just like reading random bios on the Game Press, and I read Quartz bio, and it inspired me to acquire my first Quartz and ET her within the same night. It's a damn shame that she belongs to a really subpar class, and she's already at the bottom of that class, because that bio they vote for her is generally the best thing they vote for character bios, in my opinion. It doesn't feel like an essay going overly into all these different details of a character's life. It's just like a really somber and simple backstory about a woman who's just trying to get through life. Like, having dealt with her father's leaving and then her mother's medical issues and subsequent death, she's been conditioned to keep an eye on the time by her own habits as the only thing she has left in her life to center her life around. Because all she has left is this pocket watch that her father gave her. Quartz is easily one of my favorite characters writing wise, and I know this segment is like really dry in the cringe department and has severe tonal clash, and I didn't want to like ruin it, but like seriously, like Quartz deserves better. And I 100% recommend reading her profile story on Game Press when you have the chance, and maybe go raise her to E2 so you can read the OP log. It's a 4-star raising cost, so you vets can definitely afford it. And I do think Quartz herself is actually kind of fine. Also, bonus points for being friends with Cutter and Heavy Rain. Come on. If you're friends with Heavy Rain, you might as well be. You're good in my books. Yes. I agonizing over my fifth spot. I don't like my Indra enough to give a fifth, so I was debating if I should just put a collection of Indra, Saga, and Durnar here, and then I remembered Firewatch exists. And then I rushed over Laura Pine before writing this paragraph because she is my IS Figo and I wanted to ET her at least. So, if you couldn't tell by my 10th and my 8th slot, I have a love for Aisling units, and Firewatch for me is the peak of the mountain. She is the keynote of Aisling units, and is my go-to Deadeye sniper, especially in IS runs. A sniper that can swap between silently taking down enemies or becoming a tactical nuker with S2 makes her incredibly up my alley, because I do like units with flexible skills. So, and especially in IS where for free hope I can have those two options, really good. Also, her skins, absolutely goated. Now, before we move on, let's talk about the last two missing Aisling daughters who hasn't appeared in the video, because, well, I don't have a Thule, and Irene, the list is tight, so she can get put into honorable mentions. Also just realized I once again raised Flint's existence from her mind, but since I also don't have her, she doesn't get to make it into the video. Sorry. Yes. So I originally dedicated this section for the tacticians before I moved them overway to 9th, and I had like this, even had this like whole brain rant about how Beanstalk is just me, and that's why I love both hyenas and crabs. But then I got Whisperrain. Whisperrain is cooler than any tactician I have. Easily one of my favorite medics on top of that, because once again, banger bio. I encourage you dearly to read it, because he is so good. He actually convinced me to spend a multi on a right before Wizardale banner. I think it's obvious I have a thing for treasure characters at this point, and while I do like Quartz's more simple approach, Whisperrain outdoes her in this spot because of the gameplay here, on top of the bio. Like, S2 is just goated purely because it's one less thing I need to manage. So, yeah. God, I should really consider doing a video on operator bios. Yes. I know the list doesn't look like it, but I do love defenders. Easily one of my favorite classes in the game. But do you know what I like more than defenders? Units that synergize with defenders. And you know what I like more than that? Smug Cats. That's why I love Harmony. She's a recent addition to my roster, and I only have her at E2 because I woke up one day and decided that I had enough of seeing my box being a brat, and I decided she needed immediate correction. So I did that by promoting her and making her work. I am still in the process of correcting her right now by raising her trust and forcing her to be my Fen Sport 5-star, so as you can tell, I am determined to fix her. No daughter of mine will be bratty forever. Yes. I bet that was a surprise. Shu at 2, my vice wife at 2. Yeah, Shu is my daily driver and will never leave my squad at any point in this game outside of IS. There is one other character that holds that title as well, but let's focus on my beloved vice wife. She came out the time I started playing, and I ended up getting her because she was just so good. Like, yeah, I have a Saya now, and I do use that Saya, but Saya will always be the first one to leave the squad because Vice Wife carries so hard with passive healing. SV is also a fat carry with the CC and the increased healing range, although I like S1 as well in Ice Runs. She also happens to be the catalyst for me loving the Sue siblings so much. Like, if I wasn't rolling for Shu, I probably wouldn't have discovered the joys of brawlers with bongers. I wouldn't have the best summon in the game with Ling, nor would I be sitting here shitting and crying while writing this paragraph because Dust still hasn't come home yet. And I swear to Penguin, if she doesn't come home for next Chinese New Year, I will be going around Rhodes Island with fire whistle and burning down every single painting she's hiding in until she shows up. You were supposed to come home last CNY, so I can give you 5th slot, you fucking neat. I mean, I nearly gave it to the drunkard because of you. Anyway, moving on. before we do my number one pick, let's do a rapid fire honorable mention because holy shit, there's so many units I like. I would say let's do rapid fire, but like my honorable mentions list might as well literally be every fucking defender in my collection. Just like every single one. That's my honorable mentions list. Just all defenders, even the terrible ones. Um, for non-defender picks though, Speria, like unironically Speria, because I like her design. It's just a shame that she's kind of dog shit. But who cares? Fucking, you get it to like what S2, M3. It's like what 20% chance of failing. I like those odds. Just saying. Anyway, let's see. Scene because she's cool. Valakun because she's also cool. Earth Spirit because look at her. Kefka because look at her. Shirayuki because she's not only really cool, and I also want to alter for her, but also giant shuriken. Nightmare because she's adorable. Viviana because moose. And for the last ones, I'm gonna put my tacticians back here again. Black Knight, Beanstalk, and Moo because yeah, tacticians are cool. Except for Vigil because look, you have a good bio, but holy shit, you are a terrible unit. And I look forward to building you in my tactician-only squad when you finally come around again. And then, that way I still can justify calling you fucking terrible. Yes, 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 yes. Yes! You should have seen this coming. Not only she's in all my B-roll, but 9 is the only character who wasn't part of the shoe banner and was only available for Spark. So yes, within the first 2 weeks of the game, I dumped enough money to Spark for 9. This is 300 Spark, by the way, because we didn't have her discounted Spark yet. While Shu has kept my interest in Arknights long enough to start, well, for me to start enjoying it and made me grow to like her siblings, 9 was the one who got my initial interest in the game. There was just something so appealing about her, like maybe it's the giant metal wheel she wields in combat, the sweet harpy she wears, or the fact that she's a defender. Honestly, I blame 9 for my love for this class because I love giving her a block 4 module, activating her S2, and watching as an entire wall of enemies gets blocked so my Harmony can drown them. There's also the fact that I can relate more to her than Dusk, who is just me with ink powers. Like, sure, I can relate to Dusk's love for reclusiveness while also being a creator, but 9 is just me, a NEET who wants to laze around and do nothing but goof off and work on their hobbies of filmmaking, which also happen to be terrible apparently. That's just me to a T. It's like 9 is just so perfect, and I'm so glad that I was able to spark for her, despite how much ice soup I ate in in doing that. Well, that was a fun video to write. I'm not sure if I can speak from an editing aspect, but I'm glad I used the birthday excuse to be slightly more indulgent than usual. It just gives me an excuse to remove my usual feelers and just, I want to say completely unhinged, but I definitely still feel like I'm holding back a little. Honestly, I kind of want to do this sort of video again next year, but with Defenders, because surely by then I'll have my Unicus built and be ready for a full analysis on all things Defenders. Anyway, that's it. That's the whole video. Correct your bratty cat. Bye.